After the speaker's done,
Oh, after the
speaker
speaker.
can stand up, and we'll take a nice picture of that.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Sounds great. So we'd like to welcome everyone to Beautiful Beginnings. We are so excited to be celebrating with Senator Reid today this victory of getting $1 billion investment in early care and education for our country, and what it means for Rhode Island and Rhode Island's children and families. We'll be talking about that today. But Senator Reid is such an amazing advocate. He never forgets about our littlest learners, and I couldn't be more thrilled to invite him here today to celebrate with him. I'd like to welcome the Right From the Start Steering Committee. We have Mary Barr from Woonsocket Head Start, Liam Barrett, and Paige Cautious-Clark from Kids Count. We have Divya from the Economic Progress Institute, and all of the parents that are here to celebrate this victory with us. So without further ado, I would like to welcome up Senator Reid to talk about this great win that he got for our state.
Well, it's delightful to be back at Beautiful Beginning. This is a shining example of child care and early education that we want for all of our children and families. And I commend Khadisha and everyone who works there and everyone involved in child care throughout the state. You do a lot for very little, relatively speaking. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Khadisha, you've got a great team here. They do amazing work. Mary and Paige, thank you for what you do. It's amazing also. You're great advocates, great leaders, and we need that. Investing in child care and early education programs like Head Start is not only an economic imperative, it's really a moral imperative. We have to do this. If we want to be consistent with the spirit of this nation, where everyone gets a chance, well, unless children get early education, health care, etc., they won't have a chance. So this is about living up to our responsibilities. And it also results in young men and women that can go into the workforce and go to college and do great things. And families need reliable, high-quality health care and child care because they have to go to work. And if you cannot find a secure place for your child, how can you go to work? If you go to any business around and say, what's the biggest problem? I can't find work. Well, one reason is there are a lot of parents that are staying at home with their children. And so we can not only benefit the children, we can benefit the economy. So that's another aspect of why we fight so hard in this tight budget environment for additional dollars for the child care system. I'm a member of the Appropriations Committee. My chairwoman is Patty Murray, also the first woman to be President Pro Tem of the United States Senate. She is, I believe, fourth in line to be the President of the United States, about time. Patty is so dedicated, so it's working with her is how we accomplish this. We boosted child care funding by $1 billion. We added $725 million to the Child Care and Development Block Grant and $275 million to Head Start. Now, as a result of these national appropriations, Rhode Island is slated to receive $58.4 million in 2024 to help families with young children find quality child care. That's a good news story. It's an increase. It actually has an estimated $19.5 million for the CCDBG program and $38.9 million for the federal Head Start program. Those are good, powerful numbers. It's essentially a $1.8 million increase in the funding we received last year for these two programs. And I know you can put it to work, caring for more children, paying better wages to your staff, which they earn and deserve. So So this is really money well spent. But it was not an easy go at it, because unfortunately my colleagues in the House of Representatives wanted to slash this funding by $750 million, which would have devastated Head Start. Not only did we push them back, we also put more money, as we should be, on the table. You are the reason why we could succeed. You've been steadfast in lifting up your voices for children and for your workers. You've reminded us, not just me, but my colleagues across the country, of how critical childcare is for the child, for the family, for the economy. So this is a win, and I thank you, team. You know, you played well. We sent you in. And it goes back really to professionals in childcare, because you know, you work so well, you do so much for so little. Thank you again. Now, with that, I really want to turn it to somebody that knows more than I do about childcare, although I have a 17-year-old. That's enough. Let me turn to Mary Barnes and ask her to come on out. Thank you for what you're doing with Socket in Rhode Island. Thank you, sir. Mary, please.
Thank you, Senator Reid. I fondly remember a conversation in DC in January and talking about how this could possibly go through. I know your job has not been easy, but you were steadfast, and it happened. And I want you to know that we are just so grateful for your commitment to all children, so that we can have a success when they get into school. But really most grateful for your acknowledgement of our early childhood workforce and the need to work towards fair compensation for the essential work that they do. The past 4 years have been challenging for all of us, but mostly the children. All of our early childhood programs have seen a significant increase in developmental delays. This, combined with the isolation of COVID, caused for our pandemic babies, who are now turning 4, will have a ripple effect for years to come. So investing in our programs and our workforce allows us to be able to work more effectively with our children and families before the children enter kindergarten. I know that this group of people here understand the importance of kindergarten readiness for a child's ability to have better outcomes, graduate from college, and graduate from high school and go on to college. So let's all commit to spreading the word on the importance of investing in our future, Rhode Island and across the country. Thank you so much. I want to introduce Paige. Please go.
Thank you. So my name is Paige Parks. I'm the Executive Director of Rhode Island Kids Count, and thank you everyone for being here this afternoon. I want to thank Senator Reid for your tireless and effective leadership in the U.S. Senate for Rhode Island children and families. You work hard for us every day, and you are active on so many important issues like childcare, Head Start, and early education, child education. So we thank you very much, Senator Reid. You also work, as you said in your remarks, to protect this federal funding. Their proposed cuts would have been devastating for our early childhood programs, but you fought hard against that. And instead of losing funding, we now have $1 billion, and that's an increase for child care development block grants and for Head Start nationally. So thank you. I also want to thank Khadijah Lewis-Khan for hosting this event, and also Mary Varr. Both provide strong leadership for the Right from the Start campaign. I also want to thank other leaders of the Right from the Start campaign, some who are here today. So Divya Nair from the Economic Progress Institute, and Leona Nelson Davies, Marcelo Betancourt from the Latino Policy Institute, Ramona Santos Torres for Parents Leading for Educational Equity, Lisa Hildebrand from the Rhode Island Association for the Education of Young Children, Sheila Grant Orphanese from the Rhode Island Association of Infant Mental Health, and all under the coordination and leadership of Leanne Barrett from Rhode Island Kids Count. So Rhode Island families rely heavily on federal funding to provide access to affordable, quality childcare and early learning programs. In fact, 90% of the funding for the Rhode Island Child Care Assistance Program comes from federal dollars. And we have made some really great and important investments with those federal funds. And these investments have helped to increase rates to paid providers who care for children in the Child Care Assistance Program and to lower co-payments for families. We launched a national model wage supplement program called Step Up to Child Care Wages, which provides substantial payments, anywhere from $3,000 to $12,000 a year, to help retain skilled educators who have low wages but are working with our youngest children and have such huge responsibilities. And last year, the Rhode Island General Assembly allocated $7 million in federal funding through a budget amendment for childcare and early learning. $4 million went to a very successful pilot program covering the cost of childcare for childcare educators, which is helping to recruit and retain staff. And $3 million went to supplement federal Head Start and early Head Start funding, so staff wages could be more competitive. This also helps to recruit and retain teachers. And we need that retention so that we're able to sustain and reopen classrooms that have been cut due to staffing crisis. So federal funding during the COVID-19 pandemic was absolutely critical to keeping our child care centers and family child care centers from going out of business by providing stabilization grants to programs and wage supplements to retain educators. It also directly impacts our economy. If these places were to close, parents will not be able to get to work. Now, as the temporary COVID era funding ends, this new permanent funding from the federal government will help to sustain, stabilize, and improve access to quality child care and Head Start. So the federal government, thanks to the leadership of Senator Reed, has done its part, but we as a state have more to do. So we have a lot more to do to make sure that we are meeting up to the federal government's expectations with these dollars. In Rhode Island, we have cut almost $50 million in state funding for child care since 2005. Currently, we're only serving about half the number of children that we served 20 years ago. In fact, Rhode Island has the lowest family income cutoff of the Child Care Assistance Program in the Northeast. But we're working to change that. We invite you to join the Right from the Start campaign as we build a strong coalition and continue to advocate for federal and state policies and budgets, and that all babies and young children, regardless of their zip code, regardless of their race, ethnicity, or their family income, can get off to the right start. So thank you so much, and thank you again, Senator Reed.
Thank you.